Manufacturing is a vital sector to the world economy, and in the last few decades it has been dominated by China. The Western world has been able to prosper off low-cost Chinese manufacturing that has allowed us to purchase products very cheaply and ease cost of living pressures. Another manufacturing power, Europe, will also see further headwinds from its demographic collapse and energy insecurity that will significantly impact its ability to manufacture goods and sell them to the global market. However, Asian manufacturing's dominance is coming to an end, leading to only one region to be the manufacturing powerhouse of the future, North America. In this video, we are going to look at the current manufacturing situation and why you can expect North America to dominate manufacturing in the century to come. You're watching All Things Humanities. Let's start with Asia. South Korea, Japan, Taiwan, and China really do not get along. US naval power is what prevents the Chinese from totally dominating East Asia, and without US intervention, East Asians are unable to cooperate to enable broad-spectrum, multimodal, integrated, and peaceful manufacturing supply chains. There are many cultural and ideological differences that exist between these four countries, making it prone to disagreement and conflict. Demographically, China has suffered the greatest decline in its birth rate on record. The one-child policy has absolutely gutted the Chinese demography, meaning that there are fewer and fewer adults in China. The birth rates of Shanghai and Beijing are now the lowest in the world. You can see this crisis culminating given Xi Jinping changed the one-child policy to a three-child policy in May 2021, stressing the need for workers and manufacturing supply chains to continue. Even take the Uyghurs of Xinjiang, for example, which I have discussed in this video, who have been forced to stop procreating, and this has made China the fastest aging society in human history. But even Japan and Korea face the same problems with an aging population and birth rates that are below replacement. China's low-skilled labour market actually peaked in the early 2000s, and now the result is clear. We can expect higher labour costs out of China for each year in the near future. Believe it or not, but China is no longer the low-cost producer, and it hasn't moved up the value chain fast enough to become a high-quality producer. In East Asia, it's countries like Japan, South Korea, and Taiwan that are able to manufacture high-value products like semiconductors for cars and high-tech vehicles. There isn't enough local consumption to even gobble up what the Asian nations export to the world, and as a result, the entire Asian model falls overnight. China imports more than 70% of its oil it needs every day, with Taiwan, Korea, and Japan importing more than 95% of theirs. American withdrawal from its global defense obligations suggests that the stability is in question, and you might argue that other nations or powers would be able to manage the supply line, but no other power wields the diplomatic ability and naval power to be able to police this supply line. China is the biggest importer of every industrial material, with the Japanese and Koreans showing up in the top 5 too. Asian manufacturing only happens with highly variant labour markets combined with American-provided and subsidised security. We know the Americans are no longer interested in providing this trade security, given that this model was designed to stop the Soviet Union during the Cold War. You may have remembered Huawei, a branch of Chinese government which excels at hacking foreign firms. Huawei would steal tech and purchase whatever could not be replicated, but sanctions under Biden and Trump have prevented the legal transfer to Huawei, and Huawei's corporate position imploded in only 2 years. Most Chinese companies cannot function without active American participation. Asia lacks the demographics and energy supply to continue as a manufacturing power. American withdrawal will severely impact Asia's ability to compete for manufacturing business in the future. The next potential competitor is Europe. However, European manufacturing will not be able to dominate the future. Europeans are passing the point of demographic no return, with Belgium, Germany, Italy, and Austria aging into mass retirement in the first half of the 2020s. Europe has aged to the point that it cannot even absorb its own products, and Europe must maintain high exports to maintain its current system. Their top destination is the United States, who is actually turning inward and is entering a trade war with the European Union. The German manufacturing model, the powerhouse to the European manufacturing system, is also coming to an end. The way in which Germany has been able to produce cars, machinery, and industrials and be a manufacturing superpower is over. The war in Ukraine, Europe's demographic collapse, and deglobalization all mean that the German model is done. The immense power of German manufacturing requires access to cheap energy through Russia, labour, meaning high skill and low skill, and also globalization. All three of these are coming to an end. Just look at Nord Stream 1, which are the natural gas pipelines in Europe that run under the Baltic Sea from Russia to Germany. These flow gas from Russia to Germany, powering the German manufacturing system. Now, if we can't rely on Asia to be a manufacturing powerhouse, and we can't rely on Europe, this leads us to one continent that could take its place, which is the Americas. When he was president, Donald Trump often spoke about how globalization has cheated American business, and arguably they have. However, globalization meant that the Americans would sacrifice trade for global security. Global security meant American control of the world and the demise of the Soviet Union. NAFTA, which is the North American Free Trade Agreement, is designed for American products now to be manufactured and then consumed by those living in the Americas. What a lot of people don't realize is that the US economy is domestically held, where it limits its exposure to global trade. Canada and Mexico are far more integrated, getting roughly 2/3 and 3/4 of their economic heft from trade with the United States. Within North America, as a unit, more than $8 in $10 of income is generated within the continent, which is the most insulated system in the world. NAFTA ensures raw material supply too. It sources industrial commodities, including natural gas and oil, to power its industrial complex. If more supplies are needed, South America is a solid starting point, which is easier and cheaper, for it is in the Western Hemisphere. As Canada, America, and Mexico build a more integrated system, it will naturally extend to the south. NAFTA are also able to add the UK to its partnership following its departure from the European Union, adding 66 million Brits to the trading platform. It looks like Central America will become the low-cost manufacturers, with the Central America Free Trade Agreement ensuring the United States' access to the Central American market. However, infrastructural issues suggest that Colombia would be a better option, for they are highly skilled and already having a trade agreement with the US. While the Bretton Woods system, which is also seen as the Pax Americana or America's Golden Age, is far from true, Bretton Woods disadvantaged the US, for it damaged its own economy for the security of the world. Joe Biden and Donald Trump have both pushed for the reindustrialization of America and expect to see more and more US companies reshoring and reindustrializing America to be the global manufacturing powerhouse of the future. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, consider subscribing and liking the video for more content like this.